Granit Xhaka needs to never play for Arsenal again. Arsenal need to expel Granit Xhaka from the club. He has proven time and time again that he is not the right man for that club. He has cost that club on countless occasions, and it is getting ridiculous. There needs to be a principle attached. Granit Xhaka is a man who, years ago, discarded the captain's armband, the Arsenal captain's armband, as if that wasn't one of the most prized possessions in world football. He discarded it as if it were a piece of litter. He swore at the Arsenal fans, the fans who pay their money, who dedicate their time, who demonstrate a commitment to follow that club all over the world. He swore at them. And Arsenal have been forgiving. Arsenal have constantly forgiven him, and they're paying the price. Why do they constantly forgive this bloke? I don't think they should forgive anybody, but he's not exactly Lionel Messi. He's a half-decent player, don't get me wrong, but he's not exactly Lionel Messi, and they bend over backwards for him, and I truly don't understand why. He does not deserve to play for that club. He is now out of the Tottenham game, a game that is probably the biggest North London derby that we have had for years. There is genuine jeopardy at stake. Whoever wins between Arsenal and Tottenham in the league is looking very good for Champions League football next season. For the first time in ages, there is genuine jeopardy. Something could happen here. One of these clubs, it really does matter who wins that derby. And he's out. The partnership that he has created in the middle, looking very good with Partey, they've become very reliant on that partnership, and he has cost his team. He constantly lets his club and his team down. And I don't even like Arsenal, and I find him frustrating. Where is the principle? Can I tell you a little story about Jay Bothroyd? Jay Bothroyd was a player in the young Arsenal setup. Everybody was talking about Bothroyd. Brilliant player. People had really high hopes for him. If you talk to anyone who was around football at that time, they will tell you just how high regard they held Jay Bothroyd. Funnily enough, I was on a TalkSport show with Anton Ferdinand just yesterday, and he flagged what a good player Jay Bothroyd was. Jay Bothroyd, when he was subbed for the Arsenal youth, took his shirt off and threw it on the floor. And that was seen as a cardinal sin. You cannot treat the Arsenal jersey in that way. You cannot treat the Arsenal hierarchy in that way. And as a result, Jay Bothroyd moved on. Arsenal stood true to a principle. You cannot treat Arsenal legends who were managing that team, you cannot treat them in the way that he did, and you cannot treat the shirt in the way that Jay Bothroyd did. And as a result, Arsenal, when they were a club with genuine ambition, with genuine desire to be the best, and with genuine principle, they stood by their principle. And they made a decision based on the actions of one of their players. And yet Granit Xhaka gets a pass constantly. I just don't understand it. When you watch the coverage of what Granit Xhaka did, you can see, if you freeze frame it, if you slow it down, you can see that he was well aware that Jota was coming in behind him. If you slow it down, the ball over the top from Robertson, if you watch only Granit Xhaka, you can tell that he looks over 2 or 3 times, he glances to check what's going on around him, and therefore it's impossible for him not to have deduced that Diogo Jota's running in. Therefore, when he makes that ridiculous, futile karate kick gesture to try and take the ball and only ends up cutting Diogo Jota in half, he must have known what he was going to do. He must have known that that was on the cards. And similarly to Jay Bothroyd disregarded Liam Brady. He disregarded the Arsenal shirt, and he was cast aside from Arsenal when they had principle. Granit Xhaka needs to be cast aside from Arsenal. I truly can't understand why there is any debate around this anymore. Even the most forgiving. Can you comment, if you're an Arsenal fan, have I got this wrong? Because even the most forgiving of Arsenal fans must have now had their fill of Granit Xhaka. It's astonishing how he still gets in that team. I really don't understand it. Him aside, this Arsenal team were brilliant. They put in a real shift, and it was a hell of a performance. So much effort to play away in Liverpool with 10 men is not easy. And they really went for it. And truth be told, they could have won the game. And they needed this, Arsenal. After that shocking cup exit against Nottingham Forest, where they just didn't turn up, they needed it today, because what you can't do if you're Arsenal is go out of 2 cup competitions in the space of 3 or 4 days. That cannot happen. Therefore, they needed to turn it on. And they did. They did. I think that the team were all fighting for one another. I thought Bukayo Saka was excellent. I thought Ben White was sensational. So, I mean, the Saka injury was a worry. Heart-in-mouth moment for Arsenal fans there. I mean, he looked all right, and maybe he was taken off as a precaution, but he looked okay. But when he was down, I just thought, oh dear, this is bad news for Arsenal. But, the team really did fight. They showed everything, all of the spirit, all of the tenacity, all of the hunger, all of the desperation. But they were let down by Granit Xhaka. And this is why you don't forgive. Because Arsenal have constantly forgiven Granit Xhaka, and it is, they're paying the price for it. If Granit Xhaka had put in a performance like, I mentioned Ben White, Bukayo Saka, do you know who else did not stop running? Martinelli. And he needed a performance like that because didn't think he was very good against Forest. But he was brilliant tonight. He chased every single long ball. There's no such thing as a lost cause if you are Gabriel Martinelli. And that is very impressive. And I was impressed with Mikel Arteta. I've given Arteta a lot of stick on this channel, as you know. But I was very impressed with him. I felt like he really wanted it. I like the League Cup, as you know. Anyone who watches these videos know I like the League Cup. And I think that Mikel Arteta, if you were watching this video, give it a like. If you like the League Cup, you give it a like. And Mikel Arteta gives it a like because he was hungry for it. You could see how, look, he's always animated, but he seemed to want it so much more. And I thought his whole coaching staff were up for it. That was a weird thing. It wasn't just Arteta. Usually Arteta's very animated on the touchline, gets his point across. But I thought everyone was up for it. I thought Stuvenberg was up for it. I thought Canner was up for it. Forsyth was keen. They were all up. They were all G in their team on. And they were all so happy when the final whistle blew. There was a chance that the game could have been out of sight after the first leg. Just like what Chelsea did to Tottenham. When this draw was done, I thought Liverpool will be through after one leg. But it wasn't to be because the team fought tooth and nail, aggressive, and I liked it. And the bench were constantly there giving encouragement. And they got what they deserved. I mean, it could have gone wrong at the end there, Minamino, but they got what they deserved. They were decent, Arsenal, and they were worthy of at least a point. But we also need to talk about Liverpool and what is going on there. That second half was probably the worst second half I've seen from Liverpool in a long time. There was just zero cutting edge. Totally awful. When you're playing against 10 men and you're Liverpool and you're at home in the first leg, a win is necessary. A win is hugely desired. And I was surprised that they managed to have such a passive midfield. They're playing against 10 men and they've got a midfield three of Henderson, Fabinho and Milner. It's just not. It's not enough. I think Curtis Jones should have started anyway, but he came on later than I would have anticipated. Oxlade-Chamberlain could have come on earlier. And I'm just surprised that Jurgen Klopp didn't perhaps go for the jugular like we know he can. But look, Liverpool will be fairly happy because they will believe that they won't play as badly as that again. And they haven't been beaten. But equally, they haven't beaten 10 men at home. Liverpool know that they're well capable of going to Highbury and getting a victory, though. So they won't be too gutted. Arsenal, I think there's a lot of positives. Granit Xhaka aside, a lot of positives. It's like that old headline, remember? 10 brave lions, 1 silly boy. That's what it was tonight from Arsenal. And the man who I think's had the best night possible is weirdly, it's Mohamed Salah. Could there be a better example of why Mohamed Salah deserves a contract extension? I mean, all Salah needs to do is let the board, let FSG, let Jurgen Klopp look at that Minamino miss, and then you simply put a contract in front of them and they sign it because Mohamed Salah is the greatest footballer in the world and they are wild to not sign him up. Give him what he needs because they need him, and it showed today that they needed him. Another good League Cup game. This one, by the way, the fuse is lit. The return leg of this, the second leg of this is going to be enormous, gargantuan, and I cannot wait for it. If you've enjoyed this video, if you love the League Cup, do me the honour, drop this video a like. It really does help me out, and please click subscribe. It is huge for me, and I love the community that we're building on this channel. So please click subscribe, click like, and remember, go easy, step lightly, and stay free, my friends. Have a great night. Ta-da.